Hey guys, this is Thamriel from Sandbox Gaming, and this is a guide to Prot tanking. I'm gonna cover glyphs, talent tree, percentage mitigation. This is a redo on the last video because I started some things, and after redoing some gear stats and all that jazz, I decided to make a better version of the video that might help you out. I currently have pretty bad latency, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna sorry that the frame rate is not the best, but it's okay for now. So let's go ahead and start it. The build is a basic Noxy guild. Well, actually, it's not really a Noxy guild. I believe kind of like a pretty much a basic guild, build guild. Damn, come on, don't be so stupid. Anyway, the build is average build that pretty much several websites use and show. But some of the key things you want to grab are stuff like toughness or judgment of lust or even sanctuary. You need the kind of stuff to help you get like more armor, make sure your mitigation is better, and if it looks good, if it looks like, and there's a tree, there's Ari. Come say hi to Ari, guys. Guess Ari decided to wanna be in here in the video. Don't mind me, I'm just a tree. Way to misspell it. Anyway, let's go ahead and keep going with this. Some of the key things you want to grab are Hammer of the Righteous, because this is something you will need for AoE tanking. If you cannot grab this, you're screwed. You need this no matter what. You also need Shield of the Righteous, which is your main threat generator, like a huge threat generator. Like if you're dual tanking a boss in DS, then this is something that you will need. You taunt the boss, and then you use Shield of the Righteous to try to get all the aggro on you. Toughness, Reckoning. Reckoning, I'll just take one, I wouldn't take two. Some people like to take two. I really don't see why. There's no real point. Even if you have an extra swing, that's not going to help you about a lot. You do need Holy Shield, because when your Divine Protection is out, then your Holy Shield will save your butt. So take it immediately. And make sure you get both, like rank 2 for Guarded by the Light, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why while I show you rotations. Let's not worry about that for now. Grab Divine Guardian. It's a huge bubble for the entire group, especially if you have a 5 or maybe like 4 gear bonus. If you have a set bonus, it will increase your duration by 60 seconds and range by 70 yards. So you'll be able to have the bubble up for 6 seconds, and you'll have 100 yards in general, which is really good. Grab it when you can. Ardent Defender, you might as well go ahead and grab it. It's something you will need. It's a huge lifesaver, trust me. Let's go ahead and go over some glyphs. Some glyphs here, they just pretty much either to help you generate threat or to help you do better mitigation. Glyph of Seal of Truth, you need it because it adds you 10 expertise, and any tank could use even slight expertise. You don't really need it as a stat, but when Glyph of Seal of Truth comes up, your expertise becomes, oh, it doesn't say here, but I guess when you're fighting, I'm not exactly sure, but your expertise adds on, so you'll be able to miss less. You don't need to reforge anything to expertise, trust me. If anything, you need as less expertise as possible, but if you can get some stuff in, you just leave expertise. If you don't have like 6 expertise like me, then it's okay. Glyph of Hammer of the Righteous, you need it because it helps you get, like, okay, here, I'll just go ahead and read it. Increase the damage of both the physical and holy components of Hammer of the Righteous by 10%. What does it say? You generate more threat with AoE, and you need it. Prot tankers are the best AoE tanks, trust me. Glyph of Shield of the Righteous adds you 10% more damage, which generates a little more threat. Glyph of Dazing Shield for a major glyph pretty much just dazes opponents. Like the 3 enemies that you hit, it would just daze them. Especially the casters, it's really good, so take it. Lay on Hands. If you play any paladin, it doesn't matter if it's holy, prot, or red, you will know Lay on Hands is a huge lifesaver when it comes to any big raid. When like a healer is struggling with something and you need to heal yourself, like help yourself, go ahead and pop it. And this will reduce the cooldown by 3 minutes. So instead of 10 minutes, it's just 3 minutes. Better? I think so. Grab Glyph of Ascetic Crusader because it reduces mana cost of a Crusader strike, and if you can reduce the mana cost of that, your single tanking is going to be no problem. Since you don't have Rage or Runing Power like Death Knights and Warriors and Bears, you work off mana. So I'll tell you how you generate mana from there and how you can never go OOM ever. For mana glyphs, I just grabbed Blessing of Kings and Blessing of Might because it's just something you need to pop. If you don't have a Feral Druid and you have two Paladins, one pops Kings, one pops Might, and if you are a Paladin and you already have Feral Druid and everything, any prop ally should just pop Blessing of Might. You can probably find something else on mana glyphs. I have not took time to look over some of them, but none of them look any interesting. Like Insight I won't need, I never use it. Justice I never use, and Righteous I never use, so it won't really matter. But you will want to grab Glyph of Truth because it will reduce the mana cost for a Seal of Truth, which you'll be using a lot. This one seal you need to have a lot. Let's go ahead and go over some stats. Might as well. Stamina, biggest thing you need. Strength, second best. If you can possibly replicate the gear that I have here, go for it. For trinkets, some people like to choose other trinkets. I currently am working with the trinkets that I have. I looked in my bank and actually have a Resolve of Undying. So if you do have that, and you have like Veil of Lies, and you're trying to decide between which one to choose, grab Resolve of Undying. Why? Okay, here's the thing. I'll tell you. The mitigation of Prop Ally Tank should be like in DS, should be 102.4 at all times. This is how you calculate mitigation. You go down, you add block, add parry, add dodge, and add 5 more %. Just, I'm not exactly sure what the 5 is, but somebody will probably tell me in comments. But do this, and if your overall percentage is below 102.4, you might want to bump it up. And this is just for like DS level tanks. Don't, if you're like level 60, don't worry about it for now. Wait till you're at level 85 and you can do LFR, then you can really start worrying about it. But if you can, pretty much all the bosses you're gonna be fighting are gonna be at level 87, most likely. Like every single boss, like Zanuz and Droxion and Deathwing himself. And if you can get your mitigation to be 102.4, which is pretty much the full mitigation for level 87 in order to try to match them, then all normal attacks will not affect you. Trust me, I tried it in a HOT, in HOT, and normal attacks do not affect me. Magical attacks still do, but normal attacks, just auto attack of the boss, does not affect me whatsoever. I dodge it or parry it or block it, but it does not hit me at all. Trust me, it's really useful, and I'll show you how it builds up afterwards. But if you can get that mitigation, it's perfect. Don't worry about resistance, doesn't matter. Damage, honestly, doesn't matter. Some of the enchants you want to grab is one from Earthen Ring for the helmet, which adds you 90 stamina and 35 dodge. If you can get one of your tunes to be exalted or I believe revered with the Earthen Ring, do so. Then because the enchant is it's connected to your Battle.net account, so you can take it from one tune to the other through mail. So that's what I did. I had a Death Knight that was exalted with the Earthen Ring. I got the enchant and sent it by mail to this guy, so now he has it. Enchants, I cannot tell you exactly what the enchants are because it's just gonna vary, depends on what you can grab, because as long as you can meet the quota of 102.4 overall mitigation, that's all you need. That's all you need. So your enchants may vary, except if you can, for the belt, grab the enchant that adds another gem slot. That's always good. For pants, you want to add the one that adds 145 stamina and 55 dodge. It's going to be pretty costly, so if you want to play a prop ally, you might want to save some money or have some tunes send you money or whatever. And for the chest, you want to grab the one, if you can, grab the one with the high stamina. It's going to cost you a pretty penny, but it'll be worth it. Anyway, the enchants are not always going to be the same as what I'm telling you they are. So just play around with it, check on your mitigation and all that. If you can add some stam, go for it. For any blue slot, you want to add Let me go ahead and put it up. The Poison Dream Emerald, always. Sometimes you may want to add, like for yellow or blue, you might want to add pure mastery, just to make sure your mitigation is all good. But if you can, for blue, just add the Poison Dream Emerald. For yellow, you want to keep Fractured Amber Jewel. And just because I'm saying get the blue gems doesn't not mean you have to get the blue gems. If you can get the money on, like if you can get your hands on the purple gems, like the better version of it, go for it. If it's too costly, it's fine, just go with the cheaper version. You can still meet the quota, trust me, I did. For trinkets, I have Fire of the Deep to increase my mastery. I really don't really use the usability unless it's like, okay, imagine you're fighting a Traxion, and in order to, if you do have Resolve the Undying, it takes melee hits to build it up. So if you can pop Fire of the Deep, then when it runs out, your stacks for Resolve the Undying will already build up to 10, meaning you will not lose any like health while trying to build up Mitigation, which is good. It will help you, it will help the healers, it will help the raid. Yay everybody, yay animals. Okay, I believe I covered everything. Let's go ahead and do the rotations. For like, okay, here before you start anything, here I'm gonna just go ahead and turn off Seal of Truth. When you start, you want to put up some kind of aura. Make sure you want to have aura up. I usually have Devotion aura, unless raid leader asks me to put on concentration for healers. You want to make sure you have a seal of truth. You do not want to do seal of insight unless you're questing. That's the only time it's okay. Make sure you always have Righteous Fury on. If you miss Righteous Fury, you will wipe the team, trust me. You need it. And then Blessing of Might is usually what I pop. Now here's a rotation for single target. It's always going to be Crusader Strike, and then it's going to be a filler. And the filler can be a Judgment, Hodge, it can be Hammer of Wrath, it can be Avenger's Shield, Consecration, Holy Wrath, anything, honestly. It can be any, well, except any of the cools. Any of the attacks, go for them. What I usually like to start off when you taunt a boss, just the basic taunt that you have. I'm accurate with a moo, because I'm a moo cow, and I find it funny, and my guild leaders find it funny. Anyway, here's a rotation. Crusader Strike, any filler, let's say Judgment. Crusader Strike, Avenger's Shield. Crusader Strike, as soon as you have Holy Power, use Shield of the Righteous. Doesn't matter what the rotation is or if it fits. As soon as you get Shield of the Righteous, use it. I don't care what you say, I don't care what your mama says. Shield of the Righteous is something you can use anytime you have. For AoE, same thing, except instead of Crusader Strike, you use Hammer of the Righteous, but it's same ordeal. Trust me, it's same ordeal. Hammer of the Righteous, filler. Hammer of the Righteous, if you have Holy Power, Shield of the Righteous. Hammer of the Righteous, Holy Wrath. Is it Hammer? Yeah. Hammer of the Righteous. If you can pop, if you're hitting a lot of enemies, make sure you use AoE abilities like Avenger's Shield, Consecration, and Holy Wrath often. More often than Hodge, Hammer of Wrath, and Judgment. But here's a warning. Tanks, you do not regenerate any mana. Well, very slowly. So in order to regenerate a lot of mana, you pop Judgment, because it regenerates 3% of your base mana per second, which is the only way you can generate mana back up. So as soon as you have Judgment up, that's the first thing you want to do. It should be priority on any single target or AoE. So as a filler, it's the priority. Also what you can do is start with a Judgment when you initiate an attack. If you pop Avenging Wrath and then you pop Judgment, and after that Avenging Shield, that pulls a lot of threat right off the bat. And see, my premature evasion from Resolve Undying stacked. So now my dodge is 19.5, my parry is 90.75, and block is 58.18 for my mastery. Make sure your mastery is 20% or more, or 20 points or more, and make sure your dodge and parry are very close to one another. This actually turned out by luck. I really did not know that my dodge and parry were like that. I find it kind of cool. Anyway, some of the cool cooldowns that you can do are Divine Protection, reduces all damage taken by 20% for 10 seconds. Holy Shield increases armor amount of your shield blocks by additional 20%, which is good when you just pop Divine Protection. There, I'm rambling. Divine Guardian protects everybody in your group, but you currently don't have any. I currently do not have anybody in my group, so Argent Defender is good. Is best to use when you're fighting a boss like, let's say, Morchag or Traxion, and one kill shot will kill it. Like one more hit, one more huge hit that will do, and will kill you. Pop that, and instead of killing you, it regenerates you for 50% of your maximum health, which is a huge lifesaver when it comes to working with healers who are lacking, or a tank who died, or just if the raid just everybody starts wiping, you're still trying to pull through. Yeah. Avenging Breath, the only time you really need to use it is if you want to generate a lot of threat. Otherwise, it's not going to be too useful. Lay on Hands, if you're a paladin, you know what it is. Let's go ahead and Rebuke is, I guess it's just good for casters, really. I wouldn't use it as any other thing. Racial, any racial that you have, especially if you're Draenei, I guess, I don't know. But I used to play Draenei, and the Gift of Naru was a huge lifesaver because I could just pop it on myself and just regenerate health, or I could pop it on the off tank or one of the healers and help them out. Inquisition, some people like to use it, some people don't. Sorry. I find it useful in a situation where you're doing, like, imagine on Deathwing Spine. You, the guy that has to send you the healers and tank all the bloods, all the corrupted bloods on Deathwing Spine, and you want to try to pull a bunch of them towards you. And you see some bloods are going towards the main tank, who is tanking the amalgamation, I think that's what it's called. And you have 3 holy charges that you don't know what to spend on. Whether you want to pop Word of Glory, or Shield of the Righteous, or just have them. Pop Inquisition, but make sure you just do it with 3 holy charges, not just 1. What Inquisition will do is make you generate even more threat. So on Deathwing Spine, all the bloods, they'll forget about the main tank, and they'll all just start running to you like Walmart or candy store. I have no idea what I'm trying to relate to. Word of Glory. Oh yeah, the ability I was talking to you about. Here, let me find it. Guarded by the Light. Here's what it does. If you have Word of Glory and you have 3 charges, any charges really matter. If you get a critical while you have maximum health or any overall healing, like look at that, I heal for 8k. That's okay. Still pulls a bubble on me. Absorbs damage, no matter what. If it does, like, sometimes it crits for like maybe 70k healing, so put a bubble worth the overhealing that it does. And if you like heal for a little bit and just adds you like overshoots by 500, it'll still put a bubble for 500. It's probably won't matter about a lot, but when it comes to mitigation and especially DS, it can be a huge lifesaver. It's kind of like a bubble. It's pretty much when you cast Judgment, and it gives you a late bubble right there. Delayed Judgment absorbs certain physical damage. Holy Radiance, I have no idea why you even have this. You don't need this. Redemption, good for resing people. Cleanse, okay. Hand of Protection is good if you want to try to hop your healers so that they're getting any physical damage. Hand of Sacrifice, just play around with it. Righteous Defense is good when healers are getting attacked by adds, or you're trying to get some adds from the tank to attack you. Hand of Salvation you want to use on your off tank or one of your tanks that you're switching aggro with, especially if they're pulling too much aggro and you really can't get the opponent to, well, the boss, to start attacking you. Pop Hand of Salvation on your other tank so that all the aggro will start going to you because their threat will be reduced. Hand of Freedom, always good to have. And Turn Evil, don't even worry about it. But anyway, this is just the way I have it. You can have it any other way. If you want to macro your equal sign to be an F instead and put a taunt there, do it. It can be very useful, but make sure you're careful when you're in DS on the spine of Deathwing that you don't taunt the amalgamation, because that thing can get pissed off easily and you can get taunted easily no matter what. Trust me, sometimes this kind of stuff happens. But anyway, this has been my guide to prop tanking 4.3. I hope you find it useful. If you have questions, comment. If you want to see more videos from the channel, subscribe. Sam, see you guys later.